Yeah, it's the infamous one. Last two says 1,000 mile journey begins with one single step. So we're gonna skip over that. I was trying to record a video a second ago, it didn't work out. The title of this video is gonna be "Stay in Your Lane." Why? Because I feel like I'm trying to really get better at speaking and giving advice, and I personally learn from the best of the best, but I also tend to look at the worst or like the people who do terrible when it comes to giving advice because they're terrible at giving advice, and I want to see what they do wrong so I don't repeat the mistakes. If that makes any sense, it's like learn from the best and the worst, so that way you don't repeat the mistakes, but you can copy the greats. Or I say imitation. I say imitate until you originate. That's just how writing goes. You imitate till you originate. All right. So one thing I've noticed is that people they need to stay in their lane. What do I mean by stay in your lane? A lot of people like to give advice that they don't have any first-hand experience in, and that's a big problem. Prime example: if I don't know anything about repairing motorcycles, why would I be giving out advice about? Why would I be giving out advice about repairing motorcycles? I don't have an expertise in repairing motorcycles. That's very, very dumb. People need to people need to get their egos in check and be aware of their capabilities and what they can and cannot do. Or as Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. It's just like I feel that people are too busy trying to come off as know-it-alls instead of masters of one. It's like we won't ever know it all. We all have to communicate and learn from one another. That's a good thing. But sometimes you're not the person to be giving advice. Sometimes it's best to shut up and sit back. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's okay to sometimes it's okay to give advice. But know when to give advice, when not to give advice. Know when you can be helpful, when you can't be helpful. I.e., mind your business unless you can be useful. Don't just jump into something just because it's like, oh, I might have something to say. I might. Really think about what you have to say before you speak. Think before you talk. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane because you can jump out of your lane. And when you jump out of your lane, what happens? You crash. You run into a brick wall. You can't have that. You don't want that. If you are not an expert in motorcycle repairs, you shouldn't give advice in motorcycle repairs. However, if you are an expert in motorcycle repairs, when asked about motorcycle repairs, give it all. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I'm hoping I'm coming across this right. I hope this makes sense because I halfway feel like I'm spoken too much George Lucas to make it make sense. But I've also learned this: when giving advice, you gotta speak to people from a place of compassion, understanding, empathy, and tough love. You need those things because you can't just always pat someone up. Sometimes you gotta show them softness, but other times when you hear they fucking up, you gotta tell them you're fucking up. There is no excuses of what you're doing. There is no that's where that tough love comes in. People are afraid to be honest with one another because they're afraid to hurt each other's feelings. It's like, yo, if I don't hurt your feelings, how you ever gonna get better? Hurt feelings, like that anger inside, that oh, I hate that feeling, I hate that feeling. That's how we make a change because we despise those feelings and weaknesses. It's okay, if I would ever bring out those feelings and weaknesses to somebody, it's not to make them feel bad. It's not to put them down. It's to show them these feelings that you have right now. This is what you want to overcome. This is what you want to defeat. This is what you want to beat. It is difficult to do these things, but it is very possible. All you have to do is just one day at a time, one step at a time. Lao Tzu says the 1,000 mile journey begins with one single step for a reason. As long as you stay in your lane and stay in your lane and try not to overestimate your capabilities, you will be okay. You got to be consistent in life. You have to consistently do things. And it's like I'm speaking super broad in general, but you can apply this to your life in any way, shape, or form. If you're a college student trying to get a degree in something that you really want, then you got to stay in your lane and hit those books and get to your goal. If you're a bodybuilder and you want to build muscle, you got to eat right, you got to exercise, you got to diet, and you got to do it every day. You got to stay in your lane and be on your grind. You got to be ready. It's like prime example. If you're a book writer like me, you want to get your books done, you got to write every day. You got to know the craft. You got to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. You shouldn't be fucking around. You shouldn't be in everyone else's business. You shouldn't be minding everyone else's stuff. You should be on top of your business. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Don't jump out of your lane. Stay in your lane. And if you're going to give advice to anyone, you're going to talk to anyone, don't come at them arrogant and egocentric. Come at them with compassion, understanding, empathy, tough love. Try these things out in your life. I hope I made sense in this video because I feel like I did a lot of rambling, but you guys have a good one. Remember, you're a champion, not a chump.